Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, chismosas y chismosas.
And welcome back to
SipYChisme.
Ooh!
This is episode 9.
This is episode 9. Episode 9. We are so close to episode 10. And I'm
so close.
Super excited. Just a little sneak peek. People getting called out.
Yep.
Because we did say we were going to say a little something in episode 9 just to give you guys a little idea of what will be, of what would episode 10 be like. Mm-hmm. So that's your little sneak peek. A little detail. So y'all can think what y'all want to think, but y'all just got to be there. Y'all got to be there. You got to watch the video. You got to see what happens.
Watch it.
Juicy tea. Everything. But of course, before we get into this video, like we always say, go grab your drinks, go grab your snacks, go grab your soda, grab your movie, go grab everything that you need, whatever. Shoot, if you multitask, grab whatever you need to watch this video as well and get into the conversation. So, of course, we're going to toast to it. Let's toast. And also, since we are in the month of April, we got our little bunny cups.
Yes, they're so adorable.
So y'all will be seeing these cups probably the whole month of April.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're so cute.
They're so cute. So cheers to a good conversation. Period. Ain't nothing better like a little day drinking. So, I'm a mother. You might be a mother. You might become a mother. Or you most likely will become a mother. You've been a second mother. All the mothers. So yes, the topic today is about moms. So before we get into what we think about mothers and all the other things that we think about, I do want to give a big shout out to all the mothers out there. Even if you're not a mom and you're wanting to have a kid, or you're pregnant already, or whatever the case may be, or even to the dads that play the role of a mother as well. Shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. You guys do wonders. As little as you guys might not think so, everyone does wonders. As even just bringing a child into the world is amazing. Like, even if you're not there for the child or whatever the case may be, it's like, it's still a good thing. It's still an amazing thing.
Yes, it is.
So how many kids you want? How many kids would you like to have?
Like, have?
Like,
maybe
have, like
2. Like, me personally, like, me carry 2. And then, if my partner wants to carry, they can carry 2 as well.
Do you want a big family? Like,
oh
do you
man,
see
I
yourself having
have
a big
family?
See,
either that, or I do want to like adopt or foster.
Okay.
And then if that doesn't work out, just have a shitload of animals. I want to have a little homestead. I think that's
kind
what
of like a farm?
Homestead or homestead, something like that.
It's when you like don't have like a lot of animals, but you have a lot of animals.
You don't have like a lot of animals, but homestead. You don't have a lot of animals, but you do have like a cow, goats, chickens.
Okay, so
but small.
Okay.
So you don't have a farm where you like it's a.
But wouldn't that be considered a farm even if you have one of them with everything?
No.
Oh.
No.
A farm's considered the amount of animals.
Oh, I didn't know it was about like regarding the amount of animals. I thought it was just like if you have the space and you have. Yeah. Okay, so it's the more animals, the more of it's considered a farm. The less animals, more of a what do you say?
Homestead.
A homestead.
I would love to have a homestead. Have my own little chickens. and then have goats. I want to have the dwarf goats. I think they're so fucking cute. They're evil, but they're so fucking
The one that
adorable.
be fucking running into everything.
And then cows. Like I would like to have one full-grown cow, maybe two, and then I would like to have miniature cows if it doesn't work out.
The little fuzzy ones.
6 cows.
6 cows. That's a lot.
It's just my dream.
But then you like cows.
I fucking love cows. But let's not
That's
get off topic.
Talking about animals.
Let's not get off topic.
But yeah, see, I wouldn't want a big family. I think I grew up with a big family, like as in like brothers and sisters. But like I think because I've given birth already, so I know what it feels like. I know what people go through. I don't think I want to do that many times. Like,
That's what I said too. For me to physically have.
see, but even with me, it's just like I'm even contemplating the second one. Because it's like, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful, beautiful, like, feeling. Like, as much as, like, the sickness and shit you go through that people don't talk about, like, the rashes, people, the rashes, the body change, the sweating, the body odor, the freaking emotional roller coaster that's times 10 of everything, the sometimes not being able to eat, sometimes not feeling full, sometimes like, being diabetic and getting things that you never thought you were going to get, and now you have because you're pregnant. Like your pregnancy pushed you to that. And it's very, that's why I said, like, even if you carried and you went to foster your kid, or you carried and you keep your kid, either way, it's a beautiful thing, because you went through that whole change. Like, you sacrifice your body to make what's the word?
Create.
To create, to bring in life. So that's why I said, shout out to every person that has given birth, every person that has gone through the process of, even like with surrogacy and all that. Like, bow down to y'all. Like, it's some people love it, some people hate it, some people it's not for them after their first child.
Not only that, but like the people that have had more than one kid,
or
that had like more than 3 kids. I salute you guys.
Or the ones that have like vaginal births and then had C-sections and kind of just went back and forth with that. Like, that's insane. Like, C-section, I don't get me wrong. So in the moment when I was giving birth, like while I was in labor, I did think about it. I'm like, cut this baby out of me. Like, get this shit out. Like, I cannot do it anymore. But then I was already dilated and everything, so I had to go completely natural. But you think about it. You think about it in that moment. It's like, I don't care if I have vaginal or C-section or whatever the case may be. Your mind is more of like, get this baby out of me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how, I don't care when, I don't care what. Yeah, like the what's it called? Like the
mentality.
No, just more of like what can happen goes through your mind. Like the like not I wouldn't say consequences, but like the
pros and cons.
Yeah, the pros and cons of what can happen during a C-section and also during childbirth. It goes through your mind, but it's not something that you're focused on. It's like you're focused on the pain, you're focused on giving birth, like you're focused on just having the baby here.
Kind of go into detail on like how you noticed that your body was changing, like in different ways when you were pregnant, or when you knew you were pregnant.
Well, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't really have a lot of changes besides that I was tired all the time. Like, I didn't want to do anything. I wanted to lay down. Like, my body just went lazy.
Really?
Like, I didn't want to do nothing besides sit and eat.
Was that when you knew you were pregnant already, or before you found out you were pregnant?
That was when I knew I was pregnant already. Before I found out I was pregnant, I was cramping. It was just like regular period pain. I was like, oh, my period's gonna come, and like I'm already cramping. I felt really, really, really bloated. Like, I was bloated. I was like, I don't feel good. Like, it was just like I wanted to wear comfy clothes. I did not want to wear any tight clothes. I didn't want to do nothing like that. Because around that time that I didn't know I was pregnant, we had went to also Universal Studios. I was supposed to wear jeans that day.
You weren't pregnant yet.
Yeah, because we had it. Universal was after.
It was before.
Oh, well, shit. Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, it could have just been my mood.
It was the 21st.
It could have just been that I was ovulating.
And you got pregnant on what, 25th, 24th?
25th. Like, going into the 25th. But yeah. Like, no, like, things like that. Like, it makes you, like, the feelings that you have on your period and the feelings that you have also during your ovulation time, it's like that times 10.
Okay.
So it's like, I didn't really have, like, I did have the boobs hurting, but it wasn't like big. I did have a lot of heartburn, but not as much as people like say that they do. Like everything that people say they had, I had it, but it wasn't as strong as people like said it was.
Okay.
Like some people say I really had strong heartburn. I really had this. I really had that. Like me, I had morning sickness, but it wasn't that bad. Like it wasn't where I was throwing up constantly, like, or every morning. Mine was just like I couldn't brush my teeth. Like I couldn't, knowing that I was sticking something in my mouth in the morning. Like I couldn't. Like the thought of it was just, ugh. It was like it made me want to puke. So I had that, and then the body change where you just start feeling like bigger. Like you just start feeling like your body starts to hurt and you start itching, and I caught that early. I caught that really early. And hold on. Here, baby. Go over there. Go over there, baby. Achi? Achi? He's so funny. But yeah, it's like it's a lot of things that comes with it. But it's like, and then your belly starts growing and growing and growing. And then certain days you wake up and you're like, fuck, I'm huge. Like there's days I woke up and I'm like, God damn, I'm big today. Like my belly popped out. And then you start getting heat flashes. And then you start getting like where you're hot all the time or when you're cold all the time. And then you start swelling up. And me, I had got a rash, like a belly rash.
Ooh.
And that happened, I don't remember the full name of it, but I think it was like called PUPS or POPS or something like that. And it's funny because it's common for first-time moms and moms that are pregnant with boys. But I found that out after I knew I was having a boy. And I remember scratching and scratching and scratching. That's why I have a lot of stretch marks. Because of it wasn't because I was itching because my belly was growing. It was itching because I had a basically like a hive rash. Like it was so like it was so annoying, and I had it everywhere. I had it all up my stomach. I had it down like under my stomach, a little bit towards like the sides. It was so bad. Like it was like right under my belly button. And it was just horrible. And then after you give birth, it goes away. You literally only have it for the last portion of your pregnancy, and it goes away right when you're in the process of giving birth.
Wow.
And once after you give birth, then you start losing your water weight. So all that swelling and all that puffiness you have, like your fingers turn into sausages, your freaking feet turn into fucking big ass bolillo breads and shit, and it's so bad.
So, is there anything that you would do differently?
I would say take more pictures. I wish I would have took a little bit more pictures while I was pregnant and a little bit more videos. But then when he came out, I took so many. Like I would have. I wish I would have did the full process from like 1 month to the whole 9 months. I did start. Oh my god! I did start doing pictures like every few weeks. Like I have a picture when I was 10 weeks, and then went to like 14 weeks, and then I have a few pictures, but like in between, I didn't get a lot of pictures until I was like, I would say 30 weeks. That's when I started taking. I started taking pictures. I have some pictures on like, like I think it started at 30, 32 weeks, and I went from there. But I do wish I would have taken like more pictures.
Okay. Okay.
Hi.
Hi, Stinky.
You're sleepy. You're sleepy. That's what he is. He is tired. Yeah, he is tired. But I mean, I loved my pregnancy. I can say yes, I had my ups and downs, and it is true. Whatever you do to a woman while they're pregnant, it sticks with them.
Really?
Yeah. It's not even it's completely different from like holding a grudge. It's completely different than like, oh, I'm mad at you because of something. No, it's a completely different feeling. And even after you give birth, you still have those feelings and you're just like, it's something that just never goes away. Like at all. Like it's something that you can never just like sit there and be okay with.
Wow.
So like you kind of hold that grudge, but you're not mad. But you hold that like, but you did this to me while I was pregnant, or you did this when or you weren't there, or you did, things like that. I thought that was a lie. I thought it was something that was just like, it's just all the hormones.
Did you have any like weird, crazy cravings like other women has had?
No, not that I can think of. Besides, all I did was crave like a bunch of red meat. Like I was just craving a lot of red meat, and that's like just a lot of like fat food. Like a lot of fat food.
Greasy food?
Greasy food. I always wanted like a nice juicy burger. Like that during my pregnancy, that's all I wanted.
A juicy burger.
A juicy burger. And I would get a burger from like every single place, and I'm like, that's nice. But yeah, other than that, I didn't have like crazy cravings. I didn't have like the weird, like with the peanut butter and like the chips and the pickles. Like I didn't do any of that. Like I didn't do none of that besides like eating what I eat now.
I'm scared that whenever I do decide to get pregnant, like I'm gonna have like the weirdest cravings.
It's possible because I actually also craved chocolate during my pregnancy.
Really?
But it wasn't. But then again, I don't like dark chocolate or any type of like milk chocolate. I don't really do chocolate like that. But I was able to eat some and not have that nasty taste in my mouth. I was able to eat it and be like, okay, cool. But I wasn't something that was like, oh, I'm gonna eat a whole damn candy bar. Like, no, it was still like the
whole damn.
Yeah, no, it was still like the fun size ones and the small tiny ones. Take a bite here and there. I also did like a lot of white chocolate because I knew that I really didn't like chocolate like that. So I would just kind of mix it over, but every time I wanted it, I got it. I can say I had most of my cravings.
Okay.
But it was just like big things of food. That was really it. Like I wanted the whole meal of like everything. And then I think I ate a lot of seafood during my pregnancy.
Aren't you not supposed to eat seafood?
Yes and no. You're not supposed to eat a lot of mercury during your pregnancy.
Mercury. Okay.
So, and then I think sushi has the most, or any type of like raw fish, or any type of like even cooked fish sometimes, like salmon and all like the other like fishy kind of food. I went more of like crawfish, shrimp, like seafood boils.
Okay.
Like I went more of that direction.
Did you crave like sweets, savories, or spicy?
Spicy, yes. I did crave a good amount of spicy foods. Mine was more of a savory taste. I didn't really go for sweets as much, besides like the slushies, because you crave like ice, like icy things.
Okay, so
that's how I was.
Slushies.
Yeah, so I was craving a lot of icy things. So Laura would bring me a bunch of like he'll bring me like a slushie almost every day after work.
Oh, okay.
So that was a good, yeah. That I could say, yeah, I craved those too. But that's nothing crazy, nothing insane.
Now let's talk more about like after birth. Like, how was all of that? Like getting into motherhood, actually, like you were already a mom, but you were still like a brand new mom.
Yeah. So what I did, because I had a mom there most of the time, like through like the end of my pregnancy to when he was born, it was more of like I did tell her, I was like, I don't want you to come in and take care of him. Like I don't want you to take over that section.
Yeah.
I was like, and she was like, okay. She's like, that's fine. Like I'm not really here for him. She's like, but if you need help, I'll help you.
Yeah.
But mainly I'm here for you to make sure you're okay, to make sure you take care of yourself, make sure that you don't go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, okay, so that's mainly what we did. That's mainly how the whole house kind of just like went. It went from like mom would take the baby when I needed her to, or like in the mornings, especially when I started working, she would take him, and since her job at the time was a little more easier because she would dispatch, so she wasn't really on the phone, she wasn't really talking to people or anything like that.
And she worked from home.
Yeah, so she was able to have him next to her while he slept. And one thing I was very blessed with for my first child is that my baby was very sleepy. My baby was a very sleepy baby.
Oh,
so he always took his naps on time. He was always quiet. He wasn't really loud, but when he cried, he cried. Like when he was upset and he wanted something, or whatever the case may be, he let it know. Like he
that
used to
he
cry.
wanted something.
Yeah, so don't get me wrong. Yes, we had our crying nights. We had our nights that we were up all the freaking time, and times that we didn't sleep, and all these things that I had to go through, and his dad had to go through. So we had those times, but we were so grateful that it wasn't every night. Some parents have it where it's like every single night, or they have a baby that has certain things where the baby's crying all the time, and or whatever.
Yeah.
There are some people that are like that, and some babies that they just cry, which is normal.
Yeah.
But we were grateful to where we had a baby that, I wouldn't say slept through the whole night, but made it feel like he slept through the whole night. But we know that at certain times during the night, because our routine was so like strict on, and that was one thing I wanted to happen. I wanted to where he had a feeding routine. And that was the main thing everyone told me before I gave birth. They're like, make sure you have a routine. Make sure you're always feeding and doing this on time, making sure you have it to where he gets used to that, and it just makes it easier for you. And that really did. Like we knew exactly around the time, and it wasn't exactly the time, but it was like, for example, like a time frame between 1 to 3 in the morning. We knew he was gonna wake up, eat, go to sleep, then wake up again between like 5 to 8 in the morning. Like we knew it was like those type. So we kind of just went through his schedule, and since then we've been on his schedule. And as he got older, the schedule has changed, things have been different and all that. But during the baby stage, like newborn stage, it's really scary. But your mom mode kicks in, like your parent mode itself kicks in, like overdrive. So certain things to do and not to do. Like for example, for people that co-sleep, like you're not gonna smash your baby.
Okay.
I mean, everyone could be different, but when my son was very small, when he was a newborn, we didn't fully go into co-sleeping. We tried to do the crib and the bassinet. We tried to do back and forth. Mm-hmm. But it became to where as he got older, he will co-sleep with us. We just like, okay, fuck it, put him in the bed.
Yeah.
And when we did that, it just automatic switch that we knew. We kind of just like, we were just barriers around him on the bed. Like we would just make sure that he was okay. We'll wake up and he's making sure that he's not under the covers, and we didn't cover him. Like just making sure all those things. So there's times that we even slept with 2 different blankets. Just to make sure. Okay. Or we'll put him all the way by the headboard to make sure that, okay, we can cover ourselves. And yet he would have his own little blanket.
So how did it change from when mom wasn't here anymore helping you? Like, how was that? Like, now it's just both of you guys, just taking care of him and also taking care of yourselves. Like, how did that?
I want to say that was the hardest part, the transitioning to know that I couldn't put him with someone so I can take care of certain things by myself.
Yeah.
So that was the hardest thing. And then it got to where he was getting bigger. So he was moving around. I couldn't leave him on the couch by himself or on the bed or on the floor by himself, because then he'll roll or he'll do this and he'll do that. So it was very hard to where a lot of things weren't getting done, meaning I wasn't cleaning up. I wasn't cleaning myself. I wasn't doing a lot. But during his nap times, knowing that he was going to stay in one place, I would rush to do everything so quickly. Under 30 minutes, I'll be like, okay, I'm done. And I'll be able to sit down or at least do one thing, knowing that, okay, I got to wash the dishes. I know I can see him. Or I got to go do laundry, knowing I can see him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, as long as he was in, like, my view, then I was fine.
Okay.
And then most of the time he was in, if we were able to put him down in his bassinet, and it was just because he didn't need co-sleeping when he was doing his naps. He didn't need someone next to him. So we were able to put him in his bassinet, and I was able to roam the house and kind of just like, okay, I gotta do this, do that, do this. And that's when we also got the little camera. So that way I'll walk around with the camera, making sure I'm seeing if he wakes up or not. If he wakes up, okay, I gotta go get him.
Okay.
So it was hard, but it was also easy as well because we had things to help us.
Okay.
One, our apartment was not big. It was a very small apartment. Two, we had the camera. Three, I worked from home, so I was always next to him, and I didn't have to do any babysitters or people coming in and out the house, like none of that. His dad was going back to work, so he'll get up in the morning, and then when his dad came home, he would take the baby, and I would go like shower, cook,
kind of
clean.
Switch off a little
bit. And we would kind of just do that and kind of go back and forth. Or there was days that his dad wanted to relax, play the game, and do other stuff. So either he'll have the baby with him, and they'll be like the little bouncer or whatever, or I'll have the baby because I'm done with everything.
Okay.
So it wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad of a transition, but there's certain things that you don't see when you're going through that. Like, you don't see your postpartum depression as much. You don't see your baby blues until sometimes people notice it and be like, oh shoot, like, I gotta sneeze. But sometimes they're like, oh shoot, I didn't know I was doing that, or I didn't know that I was feeling this way, or I didn't know that this was happening, until either someone tells you it's happening or you realize it that you're being different.
Yeah.
So I want to say I did go through postpartum depression. I didn't have it as severe as other people, but it did linger. Like, mine lingered for a very long time.
Okay.
And then also, but I was trying to, knowing that I had it and knowing that I was going through this like weird stage with my emotions, I knew at some point when I finally realized it, and I think you had told me that I was doing certain things. I'm like, oh shit, like I didn't even know I was doing that.
Yeah, I remember.
So once that happened, that's when I started changing certain things. That's when I was like, okay, let me start doing this more. Let me try to fix myself more. Let me try to see what's going on. And it was just a lot going on. Like, I had things with my relationship. I had things with, being a first time mom. I had things with family. I had things where it was just like, it was a lot of like pulling. And yet you're still trying to find energy to have for yourself.
Yeah.
And that I did not have. I didn't have things for myself. It was more of like, I gotta make sure everything else is taken care of, and then maybe have stuff for myself. But the time that I should have had for myself, I was sleeping. I was tired. I wanted to take a nap. Like,
so you're like, that's my time for myself.
Yeah, like that was my time for myself. That I would sit and I would like literally lay anywhere and take a nap.
Okay.
And it was just like, okay. And then as the baby gets older and older and older, those naps that you have go down, down, down. Like you stop taking your naps with the baby, and then you stop kind of you stop kind of like doing everything because now you have a little bit more help, or you have where it's like, oh, that's not important enough, or I don't have to stay with the baby all day. Now the baby's a toddler.
Yeah.
Now the baby follows me everywhere. I don't have to carry the baby anymore. Because that was also another thing. Like you're carrying a child everywhere you go.
Wow. Yeah.
Like you're not, like you gotta pick them up, you gotta put them down, you gotta stay with them. And he didn't do the baby carrier. We had one,
but he didn't do it.
He was never really in it.
Oh.
And then we had the bouncers, we have all this other stuff, and he was in it for a short period of time. But he was more of a roamer. Like he liked to roam around the house. He started to crawl. He started to walk. He started to do all these things. So I'm just like, okay, he's gonna chase me everywhere. And that's where you baby proof everything. And you're like,
how did it feel when he like started being independent?
It was nice. It felt really, really good because like you're seeing your child grow up. Like you're seeing the tiny little milestones. And that's something like you cherish.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, and that's another thing I try to do. I try to catch everything like on video. Like a lot of things I have on video. Like I have the first time he lifted his head up.
Okay.
Like I have, like maybe not the exact moment, but that day I have a picture of him that day with his head up. And I have it where it's stamped like first time lifting his head up. And then I have where he started crawling. First day he started crawling.
Oh my God.
I have a video of that.
That's
I have
exciting.
a video of when he started learning how to walk. Like I don't have the exact videos of when he first took his steps, but I have videos where it's like, okay, this is when that happened. So I have some type of memory and certain day stamped. Okay, this is when it happened. So I try to print those pictures out or like screenshot it and put in his little memory book that I have and just date it and timestamp it and like, this is like the first time you walked, or the first time this, and this is what you were wearing, and things like that. Like I try to keep as much as I can regarding pictures and stuff because I want to be able to give that to him when he's older. I want to be able to have that because I don't have that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have like the long story of baby pictures and the small like, you know, home videos and things like that. Like we don't have none of that. So I would love to have that for him.
Yeah.
And being a first time mom, it's like I want to do that. Like I want to, like everything is like him. So everything I do now, it's for him.
Yeah.
And that's one thing about like moms when they're coming to be a mom or wanting to be a mom. You got to realize you're taking, as much as people might disagree, you're removing yourself and you're putting everything towards a child. So there's no more splurging on yourself. There's no more doing things for yourself as much. There's not, everyone's situation is different. Maybe you're able to at some point in the child's life that you're like, okay, I can start working on me now.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where everything's about the child. Like everything, every decision you make is not about you and your partner. I mean, yes, it is, but it's mainly like, okay, we talk about it. We feel like it's okay, but now that we have kids, would you like? That's an extra topic on top of
whatever you guys
are deciding to do.
Yeah. So, what is your advice to moms that haven't had their baby yet and that are about to have their baby?
Just more of like, there's no rules to it. There's no guidelines. Every child's different. Never compare your child to another child, especially when it comes to milestones, because every child is going to do what they want to do at their time.
Okay.
I've learned that the hard way because I was at some point where I was like, well, he's supposed to be doing this and he's supposed to be doing that. And hearing doctors say, well, they're not doing this, so they're delayed, or they're not doing that, or you got to push it and push it and push it. And then you come home and you're like, wait, I I got to put all this time into my child, but yet I got to work. I got to pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
I got to clean. I got to cook. I got to take care of myself. I got to do all this other stuff. And at the same time, make that time for my child.
Yeah.
So I can sit down and be like, okay, you know what? Let's learn this. Let's do this. Some people don't have that. So you're expanding yourself in so many ways where sometimes it does get overwhelming. So I would say take day by day, enjoy the moments. Don't rush. So it's like if your child's not walking, if your child's not talking, if your child's not doing certain things, give it time. As long as you do make that little time to be with your kid for at least an hour, especially our busy moms, and take that time to sit and learn your child more than what you think, can help for a long run. So it's like, again, there's no book to go by. There's no perfect mom. So you go in with an open mind.
Okay.
You go in with an open mind. You take it day by day. If someone offers to help, take it. Because as much as mothers have their pride and they're like, no, we're okay. Like, I'm okay. Like, I'll do it later. Or I'll do this here. Nah, girl, take it. Take any help you can get. Even if they want to cook for you or wash your dishes or clean your house or hold the baby for a few minutes while you go shower or while you go nap, take it. Do it. Like, don't be scared to have that help. Every mom has help. Every mom has a village behind them. And even the ones that don't, they do in little tiny ways.
Yeah.
But every mother needs help. Every mother needs that tiny little help as much as they can get. Even when the kids are older. Schools that help, to get, they're educating them, they're out the house, you're able to do what you need to do, and they come home and boom, all your attention's to them.
Are you ready for when he has to go to school?
No, I'm not, because it's nerve-wracking. Because I'm pretty sure every mother, every parent, I can say, feels this, where it's like you're with your child for more than 3 years. Like, not even that. Like, you have 2 years, I would say 2 full years that your child's with you 24/7. Every day, every minute of the day, that's all your attention, that's all you go to. To where your child starts school and you got to send them away for 2 to 5 hours, to 6 hours, to 10 hours, depending if they're in sports and depending on what school they go to and depending if they have activities and things like that. Like, you're sending them away for almost an 8-hour day.
Yeah.
Once they start school, and you're just like, what do I do with myself?
Yeah.
But then that's when you bring your independency back. That's when you start being able to do your errands and you do your stuff and you have that opening, that gap. It's a bittersweet because they're with strangers.
Yeah.
That don't become strangers anymore. And they have friends and they have teachers they love and they have the school that they enjoy. Some kids don't, some kids do. It's a big roller coaster. That's like a whole different milestone chapter of itself. Like, the first 2 years are like the biggest years ever in my mind. So I'm just like, you have them where you're seeing the small things. You're seeing the first words, the first steps, the first crawls, the first being able to pick colors and learning their ABCs and songs and learning their personality and how they are and how crazy or how soft and how rough they are. Like, you're learning this tiny little human that you just birthed out. So it's I think it's amazing. I think it's an amazing thing. And with the journey that I've been on with him, it makes me want to have another kid. Like, it does. Because then it gives you like, oh my God, I miss him when he was small, or I want to have another kid so then he has someone to play with, or things like that. So yeah, so the goal is to have the goal for me is like, I do want to have another kid.
Okay.
It's gonna happen. Like, it is.
Okay.
I do cross my fingers that it's a girl. But I think my limit of kids, I think it stops at 3.
3. Okay.
Yeah. after that, I don't think I'll have any more kids. I don't want a big, huge family. Like, I want to have a boy, girl, or boy, girl, and just if I could just have a boy and a girl, which my next one, crossing fingers that it's a girl, and I'm manifesting that it's a girl.
All right, I'm so sorry, guys. Our camera died, and yeah, we just had to get back
bullshit.
Had
that shit
We've
charged.
been talking this whole time
and didn't even know that the camera had turned off.
Yeah, so the last part you guys probably saw was us talking about her wanting a little
how many kids I
girl
wanted
and how many kids.
Yeah. But we are gonna maneuver to her. She doesn't have kids yet.
No,
but
not yet.
I do want to ask, because you've seen me go through the process and you've seen me with the challenges I went through. Oh my god, my damn nose! I gotta sneeze. And everything. Like, how do you, like, do you feel comfortable, or do you think you're ready because you saw me do it? Do you think you're ready of having kids on your own?
I guess it's more of like yes and a little no, because I'm scared of like labor in general. Like, I am terrified of labor.
Is it just the labor that gets
Yes.
you? Have you ever watched, besides me, because I know you were on the phone
Yes,
when I gave labor.
I have, and
Yeah.
I recently, and I kind of scared myself because I recently got on TikTok, and like TikTok, they have a bunch of like, there's this specific lady that I've been watching that came up on my For You page, and her baby died. So like, I am so scared of that happening.
That's scary. That is scary. That is, no, it's terrifying. Sorry, I can't control my burping. This is why I don't drink, because I burp while I drink. Shit.
As you guys saw all our other videos, she has a burping problem.
Are y'all?
Shut the fuck up.
But no, but it is sad when I see, because I recently just came across a video where this mom gave birth to her baby. Everything was completely fine. She went home. 2 months later, the baby died.
And I think that's my biggest fear, like huge fear. I see all these like people that post about their stories, and like they scare me.
It's so sad
because they didn't do anything wrong. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They did everything right. It's not like, they were drinking or smoking or doing this or doing that, or they, didn't feed the baby, or they didn't do regular checkups. Like, nothing was wrong.
Yeah, it's like, it's no one's fault most of it. Like, literally 99% of the time, it's nobody's fault. It's just either the baby caught something, or the doctors didn't catch something, or they didn't have it when they were born, but they got it when they were like a month old.
Yeah, like the lady that I watched, like, oh my god, like, she showed her baby 3 days. She only had her baby for 3 days, and then her baby died. And it was just like, it was the saddest thing ever. I mean, this happened a few years ago, and she's barely starting to talk about it now. But just to see that she went through the process, and now she is trying to get pregnant again, which is amazing. But she also has the same thing that I do, the PCOS. So it's a little harder to get pregnant. She's had multiple miscarriages. And I think that's another fear of mine, is miscarriages and then having a baby and something going wrong.
See, that's what I'm even nervous about, like having another kid. I'm scared that I'm going to go through the miscarriage, even though I don't want to put it on the universe and I don't want to say it, but it is terrifying.
Yeah.
My first pregnancy, I didn't think of it, because I'm just like, it's my first pregnancy, like, it went great, it went good. Like, I wasn't worried about that. But as I got into, but then again, I wasn't thinking about, oh, I'm going to get pregnant. Like, we're going to have a kid right now. Like, no. So I wasn't doing my research. I wasn't doing any of that. I didn't start doing that until I started thinking about, oh, maybe I want another baby. And when I started looking into it a little bit more, and kind of, for some reason, I guess all the baby stuff that I was looking at for my son, it brought on a lot of more baby content.
Okay.
So it brought in like people having miscarriages, people having where their baby passes due to something, or something that the doctors didn't catch on, or something that they didn't even know the baby had. Like, things like that. And that's where I'm like, shoot, I don't want to have another baby or try to have another baby, and I go through that because it's terrifying.
Yeah.
Just the concept. I mean, I don't know about for other people, but for me, if I take a plan B or I feel like I'm pregnant, I'm not, sometimes I feel like my body did something wrong. And sometimes it feels wrong. And sometimes it's like, is this what it feels like times 10 for people that
Lost
their
baby.
children,
Yeah.
or and or go through things where they can't get pregnant, like thinking like, oh, you're going through all the hormones, and then it's like boom, like, no, sorry honey, but you're not, like, having that, it turns your mood down. Like, yes, there are times when it's like, okay, thank God, like, I'm not pregnant yet, like, that's good, like, it's not a good time right now. But then in the back of your head, you're like, fuck, like, I kind of wanted to, like, the talk of it. And like, where it's like when you're having, in certain cases, because not everyone has these conversations, but when you feel like, oh, I might be pregnant, and you're waiting for your period, and your partner, you're like, oh, what if you are pregnant? What if you
It's that
and
excitement.
It's like, yeah, you have that little excitement, and then your period comes, and you're like, I'm not pregnant, like, and you're kind of like, both of you guys are like,
a 50-50,
good, like,
like,
you're okay, right? Like, and it's just like, yeah, I'm okay. Like, I've come to terms with it, but it sucks because all this talk about it, like, it made me want to be pregnant.
yeah.
Not saying after that I'm gonna go and try to have a baby, like, no, but because it's just like, okay, it wasn't the right time. We have plans to have it around this time and whatever. But I mean, but how do you feel with everything? I wouldn't say everything you've gone through, but in the period that you're in your life right now, how do you feel about having like a kid? Like, do you mentally think that you're just like, okay, I'm ready? Like,
well, there's a few things that I need to take care of first, and we all know what that is. And if you don't worry about it.
coming soon.
There'll be a video about it. There's some stuff I need to take care of legally first, before I even want to, just because I don't want any issues or push come to shove stuff happening and people claiming stuff. So that's why I have to wait. And not only that, but I do feel like I am ready right now. Like, I do, like, mentally, I do think that I could do this now. Also, my body has been changing tremendously like these past few months.
That is true.
So I think my body is kind of telling me like, hey,
bitch, hurry up.
Yeah, like, your time is here.
Your time is now, and if you don't, your time ain't never.
Yeah, and I have PCOS, so I do have like that slight thought in the back of my head that it won't grab. Like, I do have that, and I am mentally prepared if that does happen, that if I do decide to hold, carry, or so on, I do have that in the back of my head that there is a possibility I can have a miscarriage. There's a possibility that I could have a stillborn. There is a possibility of me having multiple miscarriages at the same time, or even having false pregnancies, or even having fibroids, or I don't know what the other one is, but there's another one that it's like a ghost pregnancy where your body thinks you're pregnant, but in reality there's no baby in it.
Or sometimes when the baby's developed outside of the uterus. I don't know how that happens, but where the baby's like, it doesn't catch in the uterus where it needs to. It's always on the outside of it.
That has to deal with like a certain type of but that has to do with a certain type of like the woman has to have something.
Oh, but
like, I forgot what it was.
I think it's called a platonic pregnancy. Where it's like, is it, or is that like when the mom thinks they're pregnant and their body's completely not? And their mind just like makes it up. I don't know what.
I'm not sure.
But I mean, there are some people that have where their body throws the hormones out that of pregnancy. In reality, they're not. Which is also sucks too, because you're just like you get these positive tests and you're like, oh my God, I'm pregnant, and then when the ultrasound comes in, you're like, sorry, but it's not. Like, that's also like, it's really hard to take that in. But I mean, I think first time moms, I think just being a mom or just being a parent in general, like I think is just an amazing thing. Just seeing your children grow
Yeah.
and all the milestones and everything that they reaches, I think it's so amazing to see that, because it's just like your parents saw it for you, and now you're seeing it from your own, and you're just like, okay, now I understand. Like everything coming to parents, like everything where it's like, I understand now. Like I see why you say these things. I see why these things are so important, and it's such a good thing. So shout out to all all the parents out there. Shout out to you guys are all doing fantastic, no matter what the situation is, no matter what the case
You
is,
are
no
all
matter
doing amazing.
no matter if your house is dirty, if if you feel like you work too much, if you feel like your children are delayed or whatever the case may be, at the end of the day, you're doing amazing. You're doing so good, and the baby will come when it needs to come, and the baby will grow when it needs to grow on its own. And you got to realize, children are not all the same. That's another thing I want to emphasize on. Like, all children are not the same. So don't ever compare your child to any other child. And I know a lot of parents do agree with this. A lot of parents do stand by this. Don't always listen what your doctor says, especially if they're like, oh, well, your daughter, your son not doing this and they're not doing that and they're supposed to be doing this at this time. Like, don't let that discourage you, because there's other professional that people that are in child development will tell you completely different and let you know that every child will grow on their own and when they want to, and they will let you know when they know how to do things at their time. So don't let that discourage you when their primary care doctor or whatever the case may be that you're going to say something completely different. Excuse me. But
always burping, I'm telling you.
I don't know what it is. It's the liquor. But yeah, I think being a parent's amazing overall from my experience. From also like raising and seeing the boys, like my siblings grow up, to see my son grow up, like it's not the same. As much as I want to say like, oh, it's the same, it feels the same and all that. No, it don't. It's completely different. The love there and what you have for your child is completely different from what you have from like someone else's child or someone else's or your siblings or whatever. It's completely different. It's a different feeling.
Yeah.
So whoever said it's the same, it's lying, because it's not.
And also, for any moms, like any new moms or any moms to be that are here watching this video, please comment down below some advice that you guys have.
Yeah, or any tips that you received from another parent, from one parent to another. Comment down below. I feel like anything can help anyone.
Yeah.
Also, like, follow mom pages or parent pages, and just also to have that where they're putting out quotes and they're just saying like how amazing a parent is, because sometimes even if you're not hearing it from your own family or from your friends or whatever, hearing it from a stranger also helps as well, especially for the parents that feel down or feel like they're alone or feel like, certain things that they're thinking is not normal or whatever the case may be. Trust me, someone else out there is thinking the same thing. Yeah. Someone else out there is probably struggling the same way you're struggling. So I wouldn't say look for them, but just know that there's someone out there feeling and doing the same thing. And every parent is amazing. Every parent, no matter what situation you're in, no matter what the case may be, at the end of the day, you're putting yourself in a position to raise a human.
Yeah.
And guide them to where they need to go and to help them develop. Maybe that might not be the best. Maybe for you it might not be the best and you want to give them more. That's okay, because every parent feels like that even if the child has everything they need. So don't give up. Be easy on yourself and know that you're doing amazing. But that is it for episode 9. And again, stay tuned for episode 10, because 10 is going to be juicy, spicy, everything. And you don't want to miss out.
Because it's going to be the real SipYChisme. It's
Period.
going to be a lot. A lot's going to be exposed.
A lot is going to be spilled. The drinks are going to be sipped. People are going to be like, oh shit. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of that. Because it is. It just is. Y'all got to stay tuned. And also, the people that are not subscribe.
Come on, just subscribe.
You watch our videos. It tells us you watch our videos. We sit here and like we see you watching our videos, but you're
Yep.
not subscribed. Like, it's free. Subscribe. It's free to click that button.
Click
You
it.
don't gotta pay nothing. You don't gotta promote nothing. You gotta do nothing. Just press the button. That's it. Is it gonna hurt you? No, because you're sitting watching our videos. Is it gonna hurt us? No, at all.
No.
But
we would appreciate
we would
it.
love for everyone to join. Everyone that's watching, we would love for you guys to be subscribed, because more juicy stuff is coming and you don't want to miss out. You don't want to keep typing our name and be like, oh, or clicking the link, when you can just go to YouTube and boom, it'll be right there because you subscribed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to be cutting this video and we'll see you guys in the next one.
The next video.
Bye.